What's up everybody, my name is Vincent. Welcome to Cryptolution, where we talk about everything under the moon in the crypto universe. Today's Tuesday, July 14th. Now, we have to talk about this suspicious whale activity that's happened as of the past 24 hours. Now, there is one wallet specifically that had transferred roughly 333 million dog tokens to another wallet. And we're going to look into what that wallet has done today, because what I noticed in terms of the charting, specifically on Gate.io, is that these funds were actually moved from this suspicious wallet to Gate.io during a very interesting time where I actually saw a large red candlestick. And that red candlestick actually occurred after there was a major green candlestick. So let's talk about that. The reason we need to understand whale activity on chain that's happening with dog, it's because we're able to trace the behavior of what's going on behind the scenes. You also get a sense of maybe something could be going on in terms of a short squeeze, because remember, we have Operation Dog by Domination, which is basically dollar cost averaging every single day just $10, which is like a cup of coffee, right? And that removes a free float supply that is the only free float supply available, roughly around 4% at the time of this recording. And that allows for any new buyer to buy in whatever amount, if it's 10, 100, $500,000, that creates a short squeeze event, pumping the price of dog substantially. And we're going to look into why that kind of just happened now, and why maybe some suspicious wallets are trying to keep it down. So with that said, let's dive deep into it. Smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to join us on X. Please be careful with any of the scammers down in the comments below. I'll never reach out via WhatsApp, Telegram, direct messaging, or email. So please be careful and have us safely. Guys and girls, let's get right into it. So as I've mentioned before, dog price is still beneath the 50-day moving average line. It's going to keep doing that until it breaks out. This is a major resistance. Once it breaks out of that, that's a confirmation that we could see a short-term bull run for dog, as we saw it right over here. Dog price reacted very strongly while breaking past that. And right now, forces want to keep it down. But before we get into more of the whole suspicious wallet activity with these whales, have you noticed that the social insights, meaning the mind share of dog, has gone up 219% in the past 24 hours? Now, why is this happening? Why are more people capturing the attention of dog on their social feeds, even on CoinMarketCap? Well, it's obviously due to this. So we already know that BIP 110 and Bitcoin Knots have been trying to prevent spam on Bitcoin for the past 3 to 4 years. Yes, they like nonstop try to stop spam, and they keep failing over the past 3 to 4 years. So obviously this whole debate around BIP 110 has stirred up a lot of controversy around the censorship war between Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Knots, between spam and anti-spam. Regardless, it's a lot of attention on dog. So I want to show you how bad it is right now happening for BIP 110, but not only that, everybody's supporting it. So you know about Ocean Mining Pool. This is basically a company run by Luke Dash Jr. and also a few of his other team members. I actually think that Jack Dorsey, the former owner of Twitter, basically bought into this company, has some VC investment. So with that said, they just made an announcement yesterday saying that there could potentially be a BIP 110 chain split. A chain split, ladies and gentlemen. This is like a fork, like a literal fork. Now, what's contradictory to all this is that their CTO and the person in charge of Ocean Mining Pool, Luke Dash Jr., who you know is a complete weirdo, I have documented records spanning from July 8th all the way to around November 14th of 2025. He specifically states over and over that there's not going to be a chain split due to BIP 110. This is complete, utter nonsense. You have the team saying one thing, which is that there's going to be a chain split potentially, and that their CTO and their founder says that there can't be a chain split. So the thing is, these are the people that the BIP 110 and Bitcoin Knots people are looking up to. This is their leadership. This is the people that they are influenced by. And if they cannot make concise decisions and they use words that they don't actually hold in integrity, then how can you trust them for anything? And that's the whole point, is that you have to not break that trust with your followers, with your node operators, with miners specifically around the world. This is why nobody trusts Luke Dash Jr. So we even have like people like Ivan on Tech. As you know, he's an influencer on YouTube and on X. So he was reviewing one of the BIP supporters. His name is Matthew Crater. Now, Matthew Crater is a YouTuber who to me is kind of weird, just an utterly weird guy. Ivan on Tech reviews basically when Matthew Crater was making threats against Bitcoin miners, that if they're not going to support the node operators for this BIP 110, then they're going to be left behind. And most likely they won't get their blocks validated by these BIP 110 people. So it's a complete threat. I've been obviously criticizing all of this, saying that this is a waste of time. And it's also proving that spam is actually winning the war. And as of this morning, Samson Mao, who is pretty much a huge Bitcoin advocate, Bitcoin maxi at its purest, he just stated on basically the M Disruptors channel, which is Market Disruptors. It's on YouTube right now. You should check it out. But he states that BIP 110 right now lacks broad consensus and that their advancement of this BIP 110 being rushed was premature. He even states in here, some, not all, but some Bitcoin knots node operators have been reverting back to Bitcoin Core. Because if you don't know, Bitcoin knots right now is being forced to support BIP 110. That's what's being pushed by Luke, Bitcoin Mechanic, you name it. Basically, they're all saying in the Bitcoin knots community, you need to support BIP 110. And this is why some of these node operators are going back to Bitcoin Core, because they don't want to feel pressure to support something that's not reaching that broad consensus. This is his own words. You should definitely check this clip out. And if it doesn't get any worse, you already know who Fred Krueger is. Now, this guy used to be very bullish on Ordinals and runes, but he had a change of tone recently. So before runes even came out, you can see that based on a screenshot that I'm sharing with you right now, this is a compilation and a compile of all the different runes advocacy tweets that he's actually made before runes came out. And in here, you can see clearly that he's saying that runes are going to be the new ERC20 token on Bitcoin, surpassing even BRC20s. He's playing around with runes. Runes are going to completely change Bitcoin, 100% in favor on ordinals and runes. Also, there's a roaring kitty of runes. His name is Leonidas. I can't make this up, ladies and gentlemen. So what do we define this type of person? We call them a hypocrite. Now, what is a hypocrite? Basically, it's a person who publicly advocates for one position while their own history demonstrates the opposite may be described as a hypocrite. Basically. So they're phony, they're a fraud, they're a double dealer, they are a two-faced informal person. So basically, they don't follow the integrity or the principles of their research. So they always grift, they always go to the next new thing that's popular. And this is why I try to stay a part of DOG. If I were to move on to another token, that means I never really believed in DOG or the fundamentals. This is why DOG and many of the holders within DOG, they understand what they're involved in. They did the research, they did their homework. They're not following some sense of belief. They're not in it for just the investment. They're in it for the experience, to become not just a better investor, but also to be a better conviction holder, an intellectual trader. Because what you learn now with DOG, you can carry this off on another different asset. If it's not cryptocurrency, maybe it's stocks. Because you have to do the research, the data into what you're invested in rather than just what people feel in terms of their emotion and conviction on X. That's completely two different things. You have emotion on one side and then you have data on the other. Data for me on DOG has always been proven to be promising. It's always proven to be the asymmetric bet. But Fred Krueger didn't believe in that. It's because he's not actually a DOG Army member. He was just focusing on, are runes going to be trending? Are they going to make me more money? Is this going to garner me more followers, more attention? And this is why he's talking about BIP 110, because he's building a new audience. And this is the definition of a hypocrite and a grifter. Okay, now let's stop talking about all that. Let's talk about these whale wallets. Okay, so yesterday, I saw this specific wallet right here ending in HQUL. It sent roughly around 333 million DOG tokens to this other wallet, 2FMA. Now, the reason this is important is because this specific wallet right here was only born on July 2nd of 2026. Today is July 14th of 2026, so this was not too long ago. So here's the thing that I am actually seeing is that these wallets are actually interacting with Gate.io. Now, check this out. I'm going to show you on the next slide what happened this morning with this specific wallet right here. Remember, this specific wallet received funds from this wallet. Now, let's go over to that wallet right now. This wallet ending in 2FMA now has only 739 US dollars of DOG. That's not a lot. This used to be over 200,000 US dollars worth of DOG. So what happened? So basically, 3 hours ago, it sent these DOG tokens to, guess what? Gate.io, which you can see over here. And this other wallet, this is also a market maker wallet connected to Binance. So guess what happened roughly 2 or 3 hours ago? this happened. See this red candle wick right here? So this is called a wick. This is not a candlestick. So basically what we saw is that there was a major buy order of dog that sent dog up to roughly 65 million market cap. But what you saw was that wallet completely capitulated, meaning it saw an opportunity to sell and it basically sold, and it brought dog back down to roughly around the 59 million market cap. So I want to go back to this wallet right here ending in HQUL. Why? Because we're going to talk about Binance. So if you look over here, this is that specific wallet ending in HQUL. Now this actually has interacted with the Binance deposit wallet. Now keep in mind, this isn't a Binance Ordinal hot wallet. That's two different things. So when I go to page 4, you'll notice that 6 days ago, it actually sent some funds over to a Binance wallet, meaning it didn't receive funds from Binance, it sent funds to Binance. So here's something that I actually noticed. Look over into the Explorer. Notice in February 21st of 2025, this Binance wallet funded this specific wallet right here, ending in HQUL. So this wallet was created by a Binance user or someone that has an account at Binance, then sent those funds over to this wallet, to FMA. This wallet we know sent funds to Gate.io, which is what you saw in that charting in terms of capitulation. Isn't that interesting? So regardless, I'm going to do more research on this wallet, but I wanted you to stay informed about this because this is really suspicious whale wallet activity to make you shake you out of your bags. Now, let's look into some recent news. So Keel ended up making a really interesting observation. So he tried to buy roughly around just 7,000 dog tokens. So I don't know, that's maybe like $50 or give or take. I don't really know, just based on the conversion rate. So apparently when he put in this buy order for 75,000 dog tokens, it's actually been around 2 hours and the transaction's not gone through. Then he realized and updated to me that that order's been fulfilled 34%. Now, why am I bringing this up? I actually think that right now, there is actually a supply shock event happening, meaning there's not enough dog tokens out there because all of you have been not only accumulating, but withdrawing back into your cold storage wallets. Because we've been doing this for Operation Dog Domination Phase 3, which is to dollar cost average $10 every single day, which is a cup of coffee, this has actually removed more of the supply. And this is why we have to talk about the Runes flywheel. So right now, what does Dog do? It basically, and shout out to Cos for creating this, it onboards new users to Bitcoin. They trade Dog, the fees, the transaction fees for Dog end up paying the miners, as you can see here. The miners end up securing the network, and then security brings in the next wave of new users. So the fact is, all of you out there are basically executing $10 every single day or more. I've seen a lot of people buy thousands of dollars. And you're removing it off of exchanges back in your cold storage wallet. And we're also helping support miners, help pay for these miners to have some residuals and some payments to stick around and keeping the network secure. This is why it's so important that Dog is on Bitcoin, a native L1 token. Now, let's look into charting analysis. Now, what I've noticed that within the MACD, we're kind of like teetering at the edge of maybe entering the buyer's market. This is on the daily time frame though. And as I mentioned before, remember that large green candle wick that got sold from that one wallet from Binance? Well, it went back down, and that's okay. But I want to pay attention to the weekly time frame. What have you noticed about the MACD? The MACD, ever since December 15th, has been trending upwards. Notice that there are many green, could be green or blue histogram bars happening ever since then. That means there's been massive accumulation ever since December 15th. That means it keeps going up and up and up. That's why you see this blue and orange line going up. That's on the weekly time frame. Even in the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, is showing us more buying opportunity, more activity, renewed interest within Dog ascending upwards. You may not see it reflective of the price, but you're seeing it reflective of the amount of buy orders. It's outweighing the sell orders. And that's what happens during peak fear levels, is that the 99% run for the hills, while the 1% that usually have either conviction or a lot of money are buying in all of Dog that remains on chain. So ladies and gentlemen, what have you gotten from this video? Dog has been accumulated by retail to absorb the free flow. But also, you're seeing this suspicious whale activity with Binance-linked wallets. These Binance-linked wallets I will do more research on, but nonetheless, all this amount of attention that Dog is getting is due to all the spam talk, censorship war, Bitcoin Nuts versus Bitcoin Core, BIP 110 versus spam, aka Ordinals and Runes. It's all garnering attention for Dog. This is why it's so important to focus on what's going on right now, which is DCAing, accumulating as much as possible, withdrawing from exchanges, hold that native asset in your cold storage wallet. That's the real actual token itself. If you keep it on exchanges, that means it's not the actual token. It's just an artificial synthetic version of it, even on Kraken. Now, keep in mind, some of you on Kraken are holding some of your dog tokens on there because there were some rewards, right? There was a payment of like 3% in deposit matching. So if you're part of that and you don't want to lose that deposit match, that's completely fine, because that means you were given 3% of what you deposited as a reward. So for you guys and girls out there that are doing that, don't worry about it. But the other people that did not participate on that 3% deposit match, withdraw your dog tokens back onto your cold storage wallets. So with that said, I hope this video has been helpful. I want to give a huge shout out to all the donors that have been supporting this channel for the next 2 years. You'll see your names on screen. And by supporting this channel, please smash up that like button, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to join us on X to receive all of your alpha calls and updates regarding Dog and Moon. Till then, see you guys girls next time.